Our first stop is the Channel Islands, which looks suspiciously like Wellington because this is a low budget, slow paced atmospheric Kiwi horror set in World War II. So on the eve of D-Day, 2 Kiwi commandos sent to destroy German gun emplacements to distract Hitler's forces away from Normandy discover a Nazi occult plot to unleash demonic forces to win the war. Combining war films and supernatural horror, it squeezes every ounce it can out of its meagre budget, using the tunnels and gun wells of Wright's Hill to create a cramped and claustrophobic atmosphere. Has a very cheap Castle Wolfenstein vibe, but also kind of reminds me of Hammer Horrors, which I'm always down for. Not a huge amount more you can really say about a film that has such a small cast. You could probably fit them in a minivan. So yeah, well worth a watch if you're into either genre it covers and have a spare 86 minutes. Next up is an American fantasy adventure comedy and genuinely one of the most inventive and original films I've ever seen in my entire life. The plot is a frustrated artist gets lost inside the cardboard fort he builds in his living room and hijinks ensue. Kind of done in the style of a horror film, but the production where everything is made out of cardboard and paper is something straight out of the imagination of a child. Hell, we even get a papier-mâché Minotaur for God's sake. A dude gets mulched and turns into confetti, and it's the most wonderful thing my sad jaded eyes have ever seen. It looks fantastic, the attention to detail in the sets is genuinely magnificent. The acting, characterization and comedy aren't quite as brilliant, you could say. The characters are one-dimensional cardboard cutouts, but the production design and just sheer inventiveness and originality on show are worth 80 minutes of anybody's time. Just go and watch Dave Made a Maze, it's one of the best films I saw in 2021. You absolutely won't regret it. Moving on to the British horror comedy Benny Loves You, and oh my god, doesn't he just. Lesser horror comedy and just straight a dark, twisted, demented British comedy where Jack, a man desperate to improve his life, throws away his beloved childhood plush, Benny. It's a move that has disastrous consequences when Benny springs to life with deadly intentions. A film that opens with a small child being brutally murdered by a Care Bear knockoff and just gets more insanely demented as it goes. Some wonderful special effects and gore for the budget. Written, directed and starring Carl Holt, this is a labour of love with an unabashedly silly premise and execution. Feels like a low budget Edgar Wright flick, which is high praise for any film really. The Murder Me Elmo to the Cornetto trilogy if you will, was also the inspiration for this video as I only watched it last week and loved every minute, being in fits of laughter throughout its 94-minute runtime. Having had it sat in my collection for 6 or 7 months, God, I can't even speak English. That's how much I enjoy this film. The last film is the most recent and it's another British horror. This time from first-time director Prano Bailey Bond. Set during the Thatcherite 80s, film censor Enid takes pride in her meticulous work, guarding unsuspecting audiences against the effects of watching the gore-filled decapitations and eye gougings she pores over. A sense of duty to protect is amplified by guilt over her inability to recall details of a long-ago disappearance of her sister, recently declared dead in absentia. When Enid is assigned to review a disturbing film from the archive that echoes her AZ childhood memories, she begins to unravel how this eerie work might be tied to her past. It's a video nasty about the video nasties if you will. Brilliant cinematography, style and aesthetics help underpin a narrative that is more psychological descent into madness than gore-filled terror. A stylish throwback to 80s slow burn midnight horrors with more than just a hint of Argento Giallo to it. which comes highly recommended by me. I wish more films were like this, and I can't wait to see what the director cooks up next, if their first effort was this good. It's also only 84 minutes long, so you've literally no excuse. But before you go and watch these 4 films, like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.